The rain had turned the city into a trembling blur of headlights and shadows when Emily Carter realized the man behind her had been following her for 6 blocks. She could hear his footsteps quicken whenever hers did. Her heartbeat was a drum inside her ears, drowning out everything except the raw, instinctive fear rising in her chest. She ducked into a dimly lit gas station, hoping the bright interior would scare him off, but her reflection in the glass door showed the opposite: he was still coming. And in that moment, as she reached for her phone with shaking fingers, a huge figure covered in leather, scars, and storm-worn tattoos stepped between her and the danger. The stranger leaned close, breath warm against her ear, and whispered with a voice that felt like gravel dragged over steel, "You're in danger. Pretend I'm your dad. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that good people can come from the most unexpected places, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. It really helps keep stories like this alive." Emily froze. She didn't know who he was. She didn't know if he meant safety or something worse. All she saw was the massive patch on his leather vest, Hell's Angels, and the silent intensity in his storm gray eyes. Yet something in his expression wasn't threatening. It was urgent, protective, almost pleading. She didn't understand why, but she stepped closer to him, feeling his hand settle gently but firmly on her shoulder, just enough to make the man behind her hesitate at the doorway. The biker, whose name she didn't yet know, lifted his chin in a warning motion so subtle yet so full of force that the follower instantly changed direction and disappeared into the rain. Emily didn't breathe until the door chime echoed and she realized she wasn't being hunted anymore. The biker, towering yet strangely gentle, guided her to the corner of the gas station store, standing like a shield in front of her. His presence filled the space, his heavy boots leaving puddles on the tile floor. When he finally spoke, his voice was low, steady, and completely different from the harsh whisper he'd used before. He told her that the man trailing her wasn't random, he had been watching him for days, had seen him stalk different women, and today Emily had been his target. The biker, named Dane Walker, hadn't planned to intervene. He was on his way somewhere he didn't want to talk about, somewhere that involved trouble of his own making. But when he saw the fear in Emily's eyes, something inside him that had been buried under years of violence and mistakes stirred awake. Emily didn't know what to say. Dane didn't look like a man who did good deeds. His fists were cut, his knuckles scarred like old battlefields. Tattoos crawled up his arms, stories written in ink she couldn't read. But his eyes, those tired, worn eyes, told a different story. One of regret, responsibility, and the loneliness of a man who carried too much on shoulders built to take it. The gas station clerk kept glancing at them nervously, clearly unsure whether to call the police or pretend none of this was happening. Emily felt her hands tremble as adrenaline faded into exhaustion. Dane kept his distance now, watching the door, watching the rain, watching everything except her face, as if he didn't want to intimidate her. When he finally offered to walk her home, he said it like a man used to being turned away, used to people assuming the worst. But Emily, shaken to her core, nodded. Something about him felt safer than the world that had just tried to swallow her. As they stepped back into the storm, Emily felt the air shift around her. Dane walked slightly ahead, scanning every alleyway, every parked car, every shifting movement in the dark. She learned he had a daughter once, a little girl named Maggie, who used to cling to his jacket and laugh when he lifted her high into the air. He spoke of her softly, like her memory could break if touched too hard. But she also learned Maggie no longer spoke to him. Whatever happened between them lived behind Dane's eyes like a wound that never closed. By the time they reached her apartment building, the storm had slowed to a drizzle, but Emily's fear had not. Dane insisted on checking the lobby, the hallways, every corner. When she unlocked her apartment door and stepped inside, she thought he would leave. But something made her pause and ask the question she didn't expect to ask: why had he helped her when nobody else did? Dane stood in the doorway, water dripping from his jacket, and told her that he used to be the kind of man who caused fear, not prevented it. He hated that version of himself. Every day he tried to be better, but the world only ever saw the patch on his back and the past he couldn't erase. When he saw her fear, he recognized something painfully familiar, the feeling of being small, helpless, hunted. And he couldn't walk away. Emily didn't know why her chest tightened at his words, but she felt something shift inside her. Maybe it was gratitude. Maybe it was empathy. Maybe it was the realization that people who look the hardest on the outside are often the softest somewhere deep inside. Over the next few days, their paths crossed again, sometimes on purpose, sometimes accidentally, sometimes because Dane would ride by her building just in case. Emily slowly learned his rhythms, the way he always watched the edges of things, the way he kept his pain tucked behind quiet moments. She learned that he was trying to leave the gang, trying to rebuild a life that seemed determined to crumble every time he touched it. And she learned he wasn't just protecting her from that man, he was protecting her from the darker parts of his own world that could swallow innocent people whole. But trouble is never far from a man who has lived his life in the eye of chaos. One night, as Emily returned from work, 3 men in leather vests she didn't recognize cornered her near the stairwell. They weren't the same gang as Dane's, but they knew him. They wanted to send a message. Before she could scream, the roar of a motorcycle tore through the night like thunder cracking the sky open. Dane was off the bike before it stopped, moving with a fury Emily had never seen, a fury that came not from violence but from fear for her. The confrontation was brutal, fast, and filled with the kind of desperation only a man with everything to lose can feel. When it ended, Emily found herself gripping Dane's arm as he winced and told her to stay back. She could see blood on his lip, bruises forming across his cheek, tears of pain and something heavier hiding behind his stubborn silence. He wasn't invincible. He wasn't a monster. He was a man trying to protect someone he barely knew, simply because he believed nobody deserved to face the world alone. Days passed with police reports, hospital visits, and questions neither of them wanted to answer. Emily found herself sitting beside Dane more often, noticing the way he softened around her presence, the way he talked about Maggie more freely, the way he began to believe, just a little, that he still deserved something good in his life. And just as Emily's fear began to fade, Dane's own life began to unravel. The gang wanted him back. They wanted loyalty. They wanted control. Leaving wasn't an option, not without consequences. Dane knew this. Emily didn't. Until the night she found him sitting on the curb outside her building, his head in his hands, his bike still running beside him. He told her they had threatened Maggie. They knew where she lived. They knew how to hurt him in the worst possible way. Emily knelt beside him as rain began to fall again, and for the first time, Dane broke. He told her he'd spent years trying to make up for the father he hadn't been, the man who had no right to ask forgiveness. But he couldn't risk Maggie's safety, not even if it meant losing himself again. Emily didn't know what to say. She only knew that she wasn't letting him disappear into the darkness alone. She made calls. She reached out to people. She contacted Maggie's mother discreetly. She stood beside Dane, not behind him, not in front of him, beside him. And that changed everything. In the days that followed, something unexpected happened. Maggie reached out. She wanted to see her father again, just to talk. She had heard what he had done to protect Emily, and for the first time in years, she wondered if the man she had once adored still existed somewhere beneath the scars. Dane went to that meeting trembling harder than he had during any fight. Emily stood at a distance, watching as Maggie approached him, small and unsure, yet brave in a way only love can inspire. When Dane fell to his knees and Maggie wrapped her arms around him, Emily felt her breath catch. This wasn't about gangs or danger or storms anymore. It was about redemption. About a man who had lived his life believing he was unworthy finally being proven wrong. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more real, powerful stories that remind us that light can be found even in the darkest corners. And before we end, please comment below with your thoughts. Your words matter more than you know. Emily later said that the night she met Dane, the night a Hell's Angel whispered, "Pretend I'm your dad," was the moment her life changed forever. Not because he saved her, though he did. Not because he protected her, though he always tried. But because he taught her that the world is full of people carrying stories you cannot see, and sometimes the ones who look the most dangerous are the ones who would risk everything to keep you safe. In the end, Dane didn't just save Emily. He saved himself. And Emily never forgot the night the storm brought her the most unexpected guardian, one who reminded her that kindness comes in many forms, and redemption can arrive wearing leather, scars, and a patch the world misunderstood. The rest is a story still being written, one heartbeat and one second chance at a time.